Hey everybody, how's it going? Thanks for joining us here. We are going to be joined by Jay Nelson in just a moment here, and we are super excited about that. Let's see if we can get Jay in here with us. Hey Wendy, thanks for joining us. Hey Richie, welcome Mike. All right, we're just going to give a second here for Jay to come on board. Jay is for those who don't know Jay, he is our business partner, and he is a very successful real estate agent. He's got a team, he's got a business in Nashville where he sold 20, $25 million and more in real estate. So basically, he's been doing this a long time. He has a huge organization at eXp Realty. He was in the REMAX Hall of Fame. They just put him in the REMAX Hall of Fame when he saw this opportunity at eXp, and he was there the next day. When he saw it. So that was definitely exciting. Let's see if we can get him on here. I think he's just joining us. Hey Brett, thanks for watching. Good to see you here. There he is.
Scott, what's up,
What's happening,
brother?
man?
Man, just living the dream, baby. Just doing what we do, man, as real estate agents, man, rocking and rolling. How you
I'm
doing
doing
tonight?
great. I'm doing great. And I know we've talked about doing this for a long time. I'm really excited to have you here.
I'm excited, bro. You know what? And I'm telling you, dude, I really do want to come down from Nashville and visit you guys. We had a blast hanging out with you and your wife, Lisa, at the at in New Orleans. That was so much fun. So we definitely want to get down there. So you let me know when that's a good time, and me and Ashley will try to get down there soon, man. But excited to talk to you and everybody on Facebook about what we're doing, and I just think the world of you, brother. So I'm excited to have you at eXp with us. And one of the things that I was talking to Kathy Carter, who was also a top producing Keller Williams agent like yourself, and we were talking about how you have that training, that mentoring, your help. You've been doing this for what, 20
Coming up,
years
yeah,
in
coming up
this
on it now.
industry? And you've always been a real estate coach, so you've always been a mentor to other agents, and not just locally there, in Navarre, but all over the nation. So I would like to know, and I think a lot of people out there would like to know. Tell us a little bit about how you got involved with real estate in the early beginnings 20 years ago, and also how you got into real estate coaching agents all over the nation. I'm really interested in that.
Yeah, basically. So I decided at some point about 20 years ago, and I'm now coming up on about 25 years ago now, to just move down to Florida and yeah, pick up a new career. Didn't have any idea what I was going to do.
Yeah.
I always kind of had real estate in the back of my head. I kicked around. I toyed for a few years. This is going back to late '90s. I toyed with some book publishing. That was a terrible business to be in. So I always had real estate in the back of my head, and went and got my license, and the rest is history. It seems like yesterday. I mean, it's been almost 20 years now. I got my license in 2000, and I'm happy we did. But I'll tell you though, man, I'm more excited about where we sit today with the opportunities that we have than I was even right back when I got my license. In fact,
Yeah.
I talked to a
Yeah.
I
No
talked to a
doubt.
I talked to a guy the other day. who I hadn't really talked to in about 15 years. And it was great to reconnect with him. And he said, he goes, I can hear it in your voice how excited you are. And he goes, I didn't hear that 15 years ago, you know, and
Yeah.
that was good to hear.
That's
Yeah,
incredible.
yeah, that was definitely good to hear.
Is he in real estate as well? The buddy you kind of
I
connected
think
with?
he'd be great at it. He's looking for a new career, so he may be joining us.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. Well, you know what? Going back to when you got in real estate, what were you doing prior to getting into real estate? Do you mind me asking?
Yeah, yeah. I came from a journalism background. I used to write for newspapers. I started out writing sports,
Oh,
and then I started covering, writing features and covering news, basically city government.
wow.
And I got
Wow.
into that right about the time newspapers were starting to die. So it's perfect timing.
That's funny.
Um,
And so did you where were you selling it first? Where were you at
oh,
geographically?
I was still in the same area here when we started. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And
Okay.
obvious,
And did you start off with Keller Williams? Because you were like on the agent advisory council and the trainer and all of that with Keller. Did you start your career there, or were you
no,
with
I
another
was with a
company
couple.
prior
I
to
was
that?
with a couple of small local brokerages at first. And what I did was I happened to be in a bookstore one day. It was probably about 2004, and I came across this red book, and I go, "What's this?" And I started flipping through it, and I read about half of it while I was standing there, and read the other 200 pages over that weekend. And I'm like, nobody's talking about this stuff. This is cool. So I looked around, and at the time there wasn't an office close to me. But a couple years
Wow.
later, this was going to about 2006. Now they opened a branch office in the next town over. I walked in the door. I said, "How do I get started?" It was pretty much what he did. So I was
Wow.
there for 12 years. Went to just about.
And a top
I went.
producer and like one of the
Yeah,
top agents in the office, and you've sold a lot of real estate, and I think that's one of the things, I mean, we had talked before this, and I know you love doing what you do. You love taking care of the clients. You love the people you sell and buy with and list with. They're friends of
right.
yours. So how did that, was that something you learned in the other brokerage and you kind of played it into what you're doing now with eXp, or
It's funny.
what?
It's funny. More so of that comes from my training and my background. As a
Yeah.
journalist, you have to ask people questions and listen to what they say and what they don't say and follow up. And that's
Yes.
exactly what we do every day, right? I mean, we're calling people, we're digging for
Yeah.
motivation, we're digging for timing, we're seeing if we can help them. So basically, it's the same thing. Never did
Yes.
I think sales and that would translate, but it ended up being, a skill that was very helpful, in this
Yeah.
profession. And I never would have guessed that would be the case.
Well, you're right. Like with journalism, you are trying to find out how you can tell the truth, right? I think the same thing, one of the codes of being, hey man, dude, I've never been a journalist. So if I say something wrong, just say, Jay, that's not how it works. But, they have like an ethic of just telling the truth, no matter what the cost is. I mean, is that, and I think that's probably why you're so good at real estate, because with all the people that are, in this industry that, I mean, I'm not saying everybody, but there's a lot of people that don't do it the right way. And I think you really try to do the right thing. And when a client says, hey, what is this worth? Whether it's their house or either they're buying a house, you're always delivering the truth. And that comes from your background as a
Yeah, yeah,
journalist. Is that
and
accurate or
And no, I know
inaccurate?
that sounds funny. That sounds like a funny statement today. But back in the day when I got started, people went into this profession because you could tell all sides of a story. There isn't one side or two sides. It was our job to tell all sides of a story. Now everything is just partisan and spun the way they need to. They want it to be spun, right? That's just. I mean, the whole world has changed.
Yeah.
That's why that wasn't appealing. But that skill came in very very handy. Sellers will say to me all the time, well, why should I list with you? And I'll say to them, well, first and foremost, I'm going to tell you the truth. You know, you might
Yep.
not want to hear it, and you might not agree with me, but this is from my 20 years of real estate. You know, if you want an honest answer, you know, I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to tell you what it takes to get this home sold.
Let me ask you this. So 12
Hey,
years at
Paul.
Keller Williams, great company. We got Paul, and we got Jim Lambright, top producer. A lot of these people. Kathy Carter was a huge agent at Keller Williams.
Hey, Marion.
I just
Hey,
see all
Ginger.
of these great. David Carroll. Oh my goodness, he owned the number 10 Weichert franchise out of 550 Weichert franchises in the nation. Now he's at eXp. So why all this craziness about eXp? I mean, you know, that's one of the things we want to talk about. Why is it better for an agent? What does it allow an agent to do? How is it, you know, how are the tools that we're giving our agents helping the clients? I mean, let's talk about a little bit about eXp right now.
Yeah, and you know, my official position was I'm not interested when when I was approached with it.
Is that really what you said?
Yeah, I mean, I've said that several times. I'm like, I've seen people, you know, try to friend me on Facebook, and you know, without even getting to know me, cram a webinar down my throat. Hey, Andrew, what's going on? Hey, Mandy, thanks for joining us. So I was initially not interested, and then you know, I had been coaching Kathy Carter, and you know, she said, "Will you take a look at this thing?" And you got to meet this guy named Jay. So
I'm sorry she did that.
So
Stress you
I
out there.
basically said to Kathy, I go, Kathy, I'll take a look at it, but I'm not going to be interested, right? And you know, I got on with you, and you know, you did your presentation, and hey, Bart, thanks for joining us. A few minutes into the presentation, I was already on the edge of my seat, and the light bulb had gone off. And what I saw in this was not only could you know, I'm not doing this just for financial reasons. I want to be in business with the people I want to be in business with, right?
That's a nice point.
I just had this discussion with someone today, you know, and we were talking about it. You know, I want to be in business with him. And he wants to be in business with me, and it's something. It's just like, you know, so it's beyond financial considerations in some instances, right? So, so basically, I looked at the presentation, and I was on the edge of my seat, and I you know, did my due diligence after, and I had to check it out. And what I saw in this was not only could I go into business with anyone in the country without having to pay another full cap, and I also didn't need to risk putting them in an environment that wasn't supportive of their business or my business, because every you know, traditional office is run differently, right?
Yes,
so, and they all have different views and ideas on what the model is. So there was that on top of it. But what I saw is the reason why I was jumping out of my seat was I went, wait a minute. So what you're telling me is they're going to take that money that normally would have gone to the franchise owner and to the ownership group, and you're going to give it to me and my family instead.
That's right. God.
And I looked at that.
That's really what it's all about, baby.
It's not like the money. It's not like we're inventing money, right? It's just, in fact, Gary Keller said the same thing. It's eXp is a redistribution of wealth to going from the ownership groups to the agents. He said it. That was.
I mean,
so I saw an opportunity.
He really said that?
Yeah, I saw, and that's. So I saw an opportunity there.
Okay.
I saw an opportunity there where I can build additional streams of income. And it wasn't only, hey, Scott, what's going on? Hey, Chaz, thanks for joining us. Hey, Jen. It wasn't only that I had the opportunity for myself. Now I can turn to the agents on my team and the agents in my organization and give them that same opportunity. Hey, Glenn, how you doing?
Amen.
Glenn Sanford is joining us. All right.
Glenn Sanford's on here?
On.
Creator of eXp. Thank you, Glenn Sanford.
We hit the big time.
Holy crap. Glenn Sanford's watching our little Glenn Sanford. He was at Keller Williams. He is the founder, the creator. He's our Bill Gates of eXp. Glenn, we love you, brother. Thank you so much for all of the love that you have given to all of us and sharing it amongst agents all over the nation. Thank you, man. Thank you so much. You've changed my life. And Scott, so dude, thank you. Can you believe he got on?
That's
here?
awesome. That's awesome. Now the pressure's on. So
now the pressure's on.
So what I saw, what I saw in that is I saw that opportunity, and there's all this talk. Everyone's all excited. Everyone's talking about technology. We've got better technology. They got better technology. Technology. It's like, hold on a second, right? Has technology ever made? You've been doing this for close to 20 years too, right?
18 years, so yeah, right? Me and you are right there.
Can you credit technology with a substantial portion of your production?
I mean, man, I love people. I love people, man. I don't. I really, maybe I'm answering it wrong. We didn't rehearse this. I just love people and helping them and getting to know people and figuring out how I can help them. So maybe I don't really think so, man. Maybe I'm saying the wrong thing. I don't know.
Technology isn't going to take an unproductive agent and make them productive, or a moderately productive agent and make them wildly successful. It's just a tool. At the end of the day, it's just a tool to help us do our jobs better, right? So I'm all for everybody upping their game when it comes to technology. This is good for the industry as a whole, right? This is really good for the industry as a whole. But at the end of the day, what I saw here is again, I'm keeping my focus on opportunity. The best tech in the world over there, they're still not distributing revenue share to their agents. That didn't happen, right?
That's right.
And they're a great company, a fantastic company.
You know, Scott, here was a magical thing for me. I'm a radical, man. I think you know that. Scott, me and you, we're both a little radical in some ways, okay? But at the end of the day, my DNA is not set up to try to convince someone to do something that betters me and not them. And here's my thing, and I might be going off down the wrong path. What I love about eXp is the equality. Every agent gets the same deal. Nobody gets a special deal. So, I'm not saying this to brag on myself. I'm just saying it because it's legit. My last year at Remax, I did 21 million, and my first year at eXp, I did 31 million in sales. But I can go to a young agent and look them in the eye, and whether they've sold 2 houses in their career, I'm like, bro, you get the same deal that I got at eXp. And they're like, how is that possible? You owned a Remax. They look at me and go, well, you owned a Remax and you got a billboard in downtown Nashville on the skyline. And they're like, how can you give some brand new agent or an agent that's not quite there yet, how can I give them the same deal? How can Scott Gregory look at maybe it's an agent that's been in the business 10 years, but their business has gone down a little bit, right? And they're like, man, I got to find that next level. I got to get back to where I was. Well, we give that agent the same deal. And they get that ownership in the company. They get that piece of what Glenn Sanford created for us. Glenn Sanford said, look, every agent's going to get, to get a piece of the brokerage. Here's the other thing. I'm going to try not to talk too much, but like at the other companies, and look, I was a Remax, Hall of Fame, Lifetime Achievement, all of that, owned a Remax, all that. That's all fine and dandy. But at those times, I couldn't go give them part of the nationwide Remax ownership. Like I would bring agents on my team and I'd say, hey, man, come to my team. But I couldn't say, hey, come get a piece of Remax. And at eXp, Glenn has allowed us all to do that. And I love that. I'm passionate about it. I'll go to war against anybody on that point. And what I love about having partners like yourself, Scott, because I know you have that same mentality and you're wanting to spread that same energy and that giving to everybody around the nation. talk a little bit about that on your thoughts. I know I rambled there. I
Oh
apologize.
yeah, absolutely. And I wanted to point out to everybody too. There's I'm gonna in the comments I'm gonna post a link. We've got three for the agents that are along the Emerald Coast. We've got three opportunities coming up here in March for you to learn more about your business and learn more about what we're doing. Also, the first two are strictly about what we're doing in the business end at eXp. We've got a couple of lunch and learns the first week of March. One's going to be in Gulf Breeze and one's going to be in out toward the Destin area. And later on Friday, the 29th of this month, for agents doing 0 to 15 deals or so, 0 to 20 deals, let's say, I'm putting together a free business strategy mastermind. And it's going to be 3 hours. There's no sales pitch whatsoever. It's just 3 hours of solid fundamentals to help your business. So if you're at eXp or if you happen to be at another brokerage and you just want the training, come on out to that event. If you want a free lunch and you want to check out, the program and how it works at eXp, come out to one of those two events in the first week of March, and we'd certainly love to see you. So.
And I will say this, even before that, I'm going to tell you, I say this all the time. I was on this, we're part of some pretty big baller agent groups, and I put a post up about some stuff that Zillow's doing. And I mean, I'm one of these kind of people. I love the mentality of, hey man, you just stay in your lane and you just do what you do. But I'm going to tell you something. As realtors, we need to stay in our lane and do what we do. But I'm telling you, if you want to win the Indy 500, you better have your head on a swivel. You better know what's coming up behind you in the other lane. And that's why I tell people, if Warren Buffett decided I'm going to do a pitch for his brokerage, I would show up to see it, because I want to know what my competitors are offering. Okay, I have no problem looking at anything, because I'm going to make what's the best decision for what's best for my family. And that's it. So to me, it's like, for people not to look at what every brokerage is offering, I think you should go interview every brokerage, eXp, and go interview 10 others. And go where it's going to benefit you and your family, and you feel like you can get the most training and tools and whatnot to be a more successful realtor.
Yeah. And even if you're not interested at all, come see the presentation or call me to show you the presentation and pick it apart. Tell me what you don't like about it.
There you go.
At least you saw it. At least you saw the whole thing, not bits and pieces of it, So in any event, to get kind of back to what we were talking about, I just wanted to make sure I brought that up before I forgot. I just love the fact of being able to collaborate, with these top agents around the country.
Yes.
Kevin Kaufman's on here. He and I were talking this weekend about an array of things. He's got a big organization all around the country, and like I said, so I love the fact that we're able to do that. And what we're doing as far as training goes, whether you're a new agent or whether you're a seasoned agent in the business, if you're in our organization, we have a vested interest in helping you succeed.
Oh my goodness.
So, there's always more and more. Sean is Sean doing weekly trainings now?
Well, Sean's doing weekly trainings on Tuesday night, and like tomorrow night, and here's something we're not putting this on the comments. Tomorrow night in the cloud office, there will be a training that literally the guy does 100 million in production, and he's going to train agents all over the nation simultaneously in our cloud tomorrow night. I believe it's at 8:00. Now, I'm actually doing a training tomorrow morning, and usually we have 50 to 75 agents spread out across all the nation. I'm not going to I don't put that link out in the public. Not that I don't want to, I can't handle it. If you sent this out to everybody, there'd be 2,000 agents, and I can't get to know our agents. Yes. If there's 2,000 agents on a webinar. So if it's something you want to see, you need to hit up Scott. I mean, that's if you say, hey man, I want to be on that deal that Jay Nelson's doing in the morning, and just to sit in and watch, you're going to need to directly IM, instant message Scott or text him or whatever. But I have no problem with people getting on it. I just can't put people on a massive, because what we're doing, I'll give you an example, dude. You ready for this? We have a lot of mega agents at eXp. I mean, you know, we really do, like massive producers. And one of which is here in Nashville, and she's a you know, she's a HUD agent, and she's literally helping agents with eXp get HUD contracts all over the
Oh,
nation
wow.
because she's that kind of person. No, I'm not kidding. She's a beast. And she had a brokerage with 38 agents and brought the whole brokerage over. So, you know, that's the caliber of training we're getting. I mean, I'm learning from these people. You know, we're just, like you said, talk about the collaboration. I mean, what are we doing? It's not what you can do, and it's not what I can do. It's about what we can do
Right.
together, helping each other build the brokerage that we have a piece of because Glenn Sanford allowed that. Talk about that collaboration for a minute.
Oh, it's, you know, like I said, that's one of the reasons, even above the, you know, even above the financial opportunities. I mean, that's the thing that's cool about this. I was just talking with Kevin this weekend too, and he said, man, just the ability to collaborate with all of these great agents around the country. I mean, that's what it's
Yep.
all about. I mean, you know, that's what gets him excited. And you know, he was just sharing that same thing with me. And you know, the, it's cool. It's cool. It's the way it
Hey, I
should be
got to
done.
tell you, it is, man. And here's another great example. I see Chris Shomo. Chris Shomo is in Hawaii. We showed Chris Shomo a webinar, and he was at a big brokerage in Hawaii, and he saw the webinar and said, "Oh my goodness!" And he said, "I'm coming to eXp, guys. I'm going to tell you what, Chris. I don't know if you know this, but your wife called. I think my wife talked to your wife, and she said you've like doubled or tripled your volume. You're killing it, selling freaking real estate out there in Hawaii, and you're doing videos. I saw one of your videos today on Facebook. I'm telling you, I just love to see agents take their game and move it up. And Chris is killing it out in Hawaii. So, I mean, that's like, I feel like, you know, I'm not saying I don't take any credit for his hard work, but what we did together is taught each other and helped each other and collaborated. And I love seeing that. So, Chris, congratulations on all your success out there in Hawaii.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. So let's talk about what's going on in real estate a little bit here. What do you see going on in the market right now, in the real estate market? What do agents need to
You
know?
know, you know, you know, I think it's relevant to buyers and sellers and to agents. Okay, so the market is not something that buyers control or sellers control or realtors control or listing agents control. It doesn't matter. The market controls the market. It's simple economics. It's simple supply and demand. You've got X amount of people that need to live in a town. If your town's growing, or maybe it's Detroit and it's retracting, people are leaving there. Okay, you know, so to me, it's like we have to look at it based on, you know, is there any, you got to look at two factors right now in each one of your individual cities. Because here's the deal. I mean, seriously, Scott, it's totally different in Nashville than it is in Navarre
Mhm.
Beach. Okay. You got really high, I mean, you got beachfront and luxury, you know, on the water. So it's really can't even really compare. Each market's so different. But the bottom line is you got to look at a couple of variables. How much, you know, existing inventory or older product, and how much new construction's costs are in Nashville. I'll give you an example. Um, Here's the biggest problem in Nashville, Tennessee right now, and I don't know if it applies down there. It's the labor force to actually construct the new product. And what's happened is it's gotten so expensive to build new that it jacks that price up on the brand new builds. Which what happens is the builds get too expensive when they're new, and all of a sudden people are like, well, I can't afford a new house. I got to have an older house or or something I got to do some work on. So to me, it's like what we're finding in Nashville is there's a shortage of
Yeah.
dirt, developable dirt. So it's just continuing to drive these prices through the roof, and people are having trouble affording homes. So when somebody calls me and says, hey, I want to buy something under 225, I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, how hard is it going to be to find that right property? So what's going on down there? I mean, we're just having an inventory problem up here.
Exactly, exactly. I was trying to, again, I think most markets around the country, are starting to see. I mean, people. I guess we'll call it a normal market. This is the way this is the way it should be, as opposed to what's gone on in recent years, right? So let's
Yeah.
talk about what should an agent be doing. Like what don't they know? They don't know what they don't know. Some of them who haven't been around for 18 years. What does a new agent need to remember about their job and what they need to do on a daily basis to continue to not only not backslide as these deals aren't falling in their lap, but be able to progress?
I will tell you the truth. Um, build relationships where it's not about the money and it's about doing the right thing. I literally told somebody the other day that I went into a listing position, and I don't want to use percentages, but the bottom line is the guy asked me, what's best? What should I do? A lot of realtors or investors or something would have told him what's best for
Right.
them. I always tell them what's best for them, always. And it ended up, I mean, I didn't end up getting the deal. And that's what was so hard. And I told my wife, I was like, babe, I think that, I told him everything that a baller developer would say. Hey, go do this, then do this, then do this, then do this, and it's worth $5 million instead of the $2 million you think you want me to get. So I told him everything, and I'm a handshake guy. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. I'm just gonna say this, and it might be wrong or right. I don't care. I've never signed a buyer's agency agreement with a buyer before they've written a contract. I look them in the eye and I say, listen, if I don't earn your money and I'm not good enough for you to want to pay me, I don't want your money. And I've always felt that way. And so because of that, I've gotten burned a couple of times. But I sleep good at night knowing I always tell them the right thing to do in their best interest. If it ends up being something good for me, as long as I tell them what's best for them, then God's going to take care of the rest for my family. So I don't know. I just say build relationships. Always be transparent. Don't try to slide the signature under their hand. Like, you know what? Take your time, man. You want to list, go interview 10 people. I'll outwork everybody that comes through that door. That's what I've always done. So I don't know if that's a right answer or a wrong answer, but it's the way I've sold, a lot of real estate.
I'm always talking to our team members about authenticity. I said, be authentic. You need to be able to. Yes, you need to be able to close. I understand that. I get it. But you need to be a real person. Don't be a sales bot.
Yep.
But basically, like with all this talk about new technology and all this stuff, it's all great, right? But at the end of the day, the agents need to remember what their job is, and they need to talk to enough people every day consistently to hit their goals. Okay. And what
Absolutely.
I'm seeing a lot of, we're seeing huge washout rates in real estate. I mean, they're saying it may be upwards of 90% of agents getting their license are out of the business within 2 years. I think it's 50% within 1 year, and then it goes up from there. So I always want agents, things were pretty easy, relatively speaking, for many years. Now it's going to get a little bit more difficult. So remember
That's
what
right.
your job is every day. It's to make sure you're talking to enough people about real estate, however you decide to do that. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's so right. I mean, and the other thing is there's too many people that don't want to teach. It's like one of the great things about eXp is that we have a network of agents nationwide. So it's not always the agent that's in your town coaching you and
Right.
teaching you. So, I mean, I'm learning. I'm going to tell you right now, Sheila Fedgeron does $30 million in production a year out of Dallas. Before I saw her training on open houses, I'm a moron compared to her. And I had won before I saw her how she does an open house. I had already won a lifetime achievement award at Remax. I saw how she did it. I'm like, okay, I'm an idiot. But the bottom line is she's in Dallas. I'm in Nashville. She's teaching me everything she knows. So we got to be able to go outside of our markets and learn. If you're only learning from somebody that lives down the road from you, you're only seeing one perspective. And that's one of the things about the training and all of the, 60 hours or that we're going to. Do you realize the cloud's going to be open 24 hours? We're going to have
Oh,
training
wow.
classes. It's
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, because some people work day jobs and they're still in real estate and they need to learn at night. It's like a night class. So we're just pouring into the agents,
Yeah,
helping them learn.
for those who aren't with eXp, we have a virtual world that is staffed by 350 employees. So when we have an issue that we need resolved, we could just actually go sit down with someone and they fix our problem, as opposed to in a traditional brokerage where you leave a voicemail for your broker and he or she may or may not ever get back to you. So but within that world, we've got about 30 to 40 hours of training each and every week on an array of topics. Okay, I'm brand
Yep.
new and clueless what I'm doing. To I've been in real estate. I'm a dinosaur like Scott Gregory. Um, you know, there's basically there's something for everybody in there. And as I didn't see, this is the first I had heard about this 24/7. Boy, that's cool.
But that's rolling out. I mean, they're starting to scale it.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly when that's going to be, but that is something that we're developing because people need service. I mean, I might have been with clients all day and I need something done. I need to talk to an accountant and it's 8:00 at night. I want to be able to log in on my laptop in my car and go in and say, check my, closing from
Right.
yesterday. When is my wire going out into my bank account? Because I mean, I had an agent the other day tell me they got paid within 12 hours. I mean, the closing the next morning, they got a direct deposit on their
Yep.
commission. That's pretty
Yeah.
insane. So they close one day, the next day the money's there in your bank account from your closing.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Hey, there's Ben Simonton. Hold on. Ben Simonton listen, that's my boy down there in Orlando. Ben and I met at we were at a little pub, Ashley and I, and we hung out with Ben, and Ben was a Remax owner, Scott. Owned a Remax down the road from where we were meeting and having an after hours cocktail. And 8 weeks later, he leaves his own brokerage to come to eXp, and he's a Remax franchise owner. Still owns part of the building.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. that is
crazy. I mean, it's crazy. People are seeing it. So, Scott, we are so grateful that you're at eXp. We want to come down to Navarre Beach. We want to get to know the people that want to build something big. We're able to build your brokerage with Scott all over the world. And, I was on the phone with somebody talking about some launching in Canada today. And, guys, I just want to say one thing. Are you ready for this? I'm going to surprise you. Are you ready? A French-speaking cloud office. We ain't playing small, baby. We playing big.
How many states is your business in now?
Well, by the grace of God, we came to eXp 21 months ago with just dreams of helping other agents and expansion and building. And by the good Lord above, we have 730 agents spread across 30 states and Canada. And by the grace of the good Lord above, we're able to help those agents sell in the past 4 months 956 homes.
Oh,
so
wow.
me and Ashley personally had a little bit of something to do with our agents selling 956 homes in 4 months. So I mean, it's a blessing. Thank you, Glenn Sanford. Thank you for the opportunity to help and help Scott's family and somebody watching this video right now. You're wondering, should I reach out to Scott Gregory? I'm going to say this. I'm going to say what Jeff Willems said to me. 21 months ago, I'm in San Diego, California. I'm at the bar at the Marriott. I'm a Remax agent. And Jeff Willems and Marcy Willems walk in. It's about 12:30 at night. Ashley and I were there with Gene Frederick and Rob Flick. And I walked up to Jeff and Marcy, and Jeff and Marcy were the number 16 realtors in the nation out of all brokerages on the Wall Street Journal, bro. Wall Street Journal, number 16 out of every realtor. And I said, man, I know who you are. I know you were a Remax owner. You're a legend. You and your wife are legends. And Jeff Willems looked me in the eye right there, and I promise you this is verbatim and not exaggerated. He looked at me and he said, "Let me tell you something, son. If you don't come to eXp, it will be the worst financial business decision of your entire life." And on Monday morning, after 14 years, I said, let's go build the largest real estate company in the world. And I want to say this in closing, Scott, before you close us out. Why that made sense to me was because this is the agent's brokerage. We don't have franchise owners. We don't have region owners. We don't have all these people. We don't have brick and mortar. And we just help the agents. It's all about the agents. And I knew that if I had that to offer agents, we could change the world, baby.
Oh yeah.
So we're doing it.
And it gets rid of a lot of the politics too. That you find.
So Scott, I can't wait to come see you guys. Loved hanging out with y'all in New Orleans. Reach out to Scott Gregory. Shoot him an instant message and say, hey, man, want to jump on one of those webinars. I want to see what eXp is all about. He'll keep it on the DL. Nobody's got to know you're looking at it. And let's go change the world and help agents get a piece of the brokerage. Because right now, you might be selling, but you don't get a piece of the brokerage. Here you sell and you get a piece of the brokerage.
Yeah, and I want everybody to understand real quick what that means. He talked about those 956 homes. That means Jay is getting a percentage of a company dollar.
It's a little small percentage, but it adds up
quite a bit. Yeah, and that's the same thing that'll happen with you over time. Should you decide to take advantage of that opportunity that's here, is it just takes off in other states and soon other countries, and then off you go. And now you've got another stream of income for yourself and for your family that can be substantial. And you won't have that opportunity anywhere else, and I think that's cool.
There's no way.
Yeah.
Well, Scott, hey man, I saw Lisa pop on here and watch. Can't wait to hang out with y'all. Listen, let's plan seriously in the next whatever time, next 20 days, 30 days. At some point, Ashley and I come down to Navarre Beach and meet all your friends. And so I want to recommend you reach out to Scott Gregory and his wife and talk to them and understand what eXp is, a movement in this industry that betters and gives agents different ways of making money in this industry. So
thanks for taking the time out.
I love you, brother. Hey, man, it was fun tonight. Hey, man, take care. Talk to you soon.
Bye now.
See you, brother. Bye.
I'll go ahead and I'll put those links to the events we've got coming up in March in the contacts in the comments, and I will like I said, I'll put my phone number too if anybody has any questions. Have a great night, everybody.